people that are in here. So it might get a little warm, a little uncomfortable, but hey, we're all friends, we're all teachers, and we all love the same thing, which is technology. So my name is Wang, and I say I'm a lot, so just kind of fairly warn you. There we go again. So I keep doing that. That's because I'm not a seasoned professional speaker. I speak from my heart, I speak from my gut, and I speak from my head a lot of times. Because one thing I really like to do is talk about my passions and the things that really resonate with me. So this isn't a prepared speech. I just want to fairly warn you. This is organic. This is going to be a very organic presentation because I don't like prescriptive presentation. I don't like presenting to the PowerPoint. You see it up here right now, but after a few slides, it'll be done, and I'll be going into total organic mode, I guess is the best way to put it. Okay. Normally, I would be standing out there on the floor with my iPad in hand, walking around. But it's kind of difficult to do with a microphone, so I need to remember to get a lavalier. But because I'm very expressive, I guess, in a way. So this is me. I'm founder and president of KP Education Systems. Basically, I've devoted my entire, I say, adult life because pretty much I started when I was in college, developing technology and ways to increase learning. So my company does that, and through that experience, through that process, I've really come to grow and know the environment, and that's led me down the education path. So, and according to that, I'm a good meeting prodigy, self-professed, no one ever told me that, and iPad guru. So this entire presentation will be done on the iPad. That's a very interesting challenge. Okay, so who needs them? I do. Anybody else? iPads. Who needs them? I want to hear it. Come on. Say I do. Very good. Because iPads, or we don't want to talk about just iPad, tablet computers are really getting to our students. Oh, let me move it up here. So I have a couple questions here. All right, so anybody here need to be convinced that tablets are useful in education? Do we have it? Have a few people here? All right, the challengers. I love an interesting challenge. Just have a little talk outside afterward. Okay, no, none of that. But yeah, it's a very interesting thing. You think it's a fad, if it's just going to come and go, or things like that. So anybody here bring your own iPad? Just show me and raise your hand. We're not going to do the audience participation thing we did this morning. Very good. Good Spanish. That was really awesome. To be able to see that from my vantage point and see the sea of tablets light up. Maybe somebody put a laptop up too, I don't know. All right, so besides the ones who brought it, anybody here own it and did not bring it? A few of you. Shame on you. The iPad should never leave your side. Okay, those of you over there did not see it, so I'll repeat it again. This thing has never left my side since I first got it back in April of 2010. I ate sleep with it. Yes, I'm that sad. Okay. All right, so anybody here, other tablet users? I know we won't chastise you, just raise your hand if you're an other tablet user. The few, the proud, the adventurous, the people who like to deal with fragmentation. But I'm not no knock against Google. It's just that never mind, I'll wait to get into that. All right, so and now I just want to see 3G owners. 3G owners, okay, a few of you. A lot of people get Wi-Fi because it's cheaper, you don't have to pay for it. But gosh darn it, if you ask a 3G owner, is it worth it? They're gonna say, yes. Yes, because you use it all the time. Imagine being handicapped and not being able to walk around with only one eye, I guess. All right, so, okay, anybody here with an iPad too? Just raise your hand. All right, cool. I just wanted to get a little kind of feel for the audience here. So, okay, I just want to see who's here. Middle schoolers? Any middle schoolers? Raise your hand. I'm going to go through this as fast as possible because we're very tight on time. Tech centers, high schools. All right, high schools. And then, okay, so level 0. Okay, now we're going to go into something else, actually, which is what I call the different levels of iPad-ness. So, okay, so here's some of my fantabulous pictures I found here. Okay, so there's a picture of the cat. There we go. All right. So this is what I call levels of top tablet knowledge. Okay, so first off we have level, oops, dang it. I'm a little jittery, so. All right, so here we have level 0, the practical. One of the things I'm going to take you guys through is the practical nature of it, because like a lot of people go, oh, you know, what kind of iPad case do you have, or what kind of iPad accessories. So I want to take you through the accessories. Now the reason I do this is because I go way over the head, so I have to start very, very, very basic. So for fair warning, those of you who are advanced users, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to get and satisfy your needs today. But one thing we should do is we should open up a forum of discussion and really take it to the next level. Okay, so level 1, the obvious. So I'm going to talk about obvious uses for iPad. Level 2, the app. We're going to talk about the apps, but it's not all about apps. So we're going to spend a little time on that. And if you notice that, like, you know, as I'm using this, some people are familiar with the program Prezi. This is not Prezi, and a lot of people mistaking this as Prezi. This is just the photo viewer where I just take my finger and pinch and zoom. That is what we call the creative. Taking a program that's supposed to do one thing and creatively using it for something else. And then we go over here to 4, the imaginative. So you're taking these programs and then you're reimagining different things with it. Unexpected, so it's like you're using an app and you're like, oh, I could do this. You know, those are like really high-level things. The savvy, you know, so once you get to savvy, then you move on to the ludicrous level. So ludicrous speed. Any space ballers out there? All right. As you know, I'm a computer programmer, and not really a programmer much anymore, more of a computer nut now. This is a picture of a Chinese kid. This is not me. This is just somebody that I Googled. This kind of represents me when I was a kid. Okay, Asian, they all look the same, right? Great, I'm gonna get flamed by Asians now. Yeah, because that's me, because when I was in school, I was bored. I was like, you know, not being stimulated. I was kind of daydreaming the whole time. It wasn't because I wasn't intelligent, although the SATs would say differently. It's because I wasn't challenged when I was in school. So I kind of want to give you guys a little background about me to kind of show you where I come from, because a lot of this that I'm going to be talking about should relate to you, to your students and your kids out there right now. So yes, I yawn a lot. Now with computers, I can be stimulated. So one thing that I did gravitate towards was this thing. Now this kind of dates me if I did use this. This is a Commodore PET, circa 1979 or 8 or something like that. But this is one of the first things that really got my imagination going. I was able to type in this really monochromatic green screen and make it do things like crunch numbers and make lists go up and down the screen, and eventually to higher levels of programming. So that was awesome. All right, so when I was a kid, I used to watch this thing, Star Trek. Now look at that tablet. Isn't that cool? Yeah. When I saw this, I was like, oh my gosh. Okay, I just lost my connection. But I was like, oh my gosh, this is Star Trek in my hands.
Thank you.
It was amazing. So this is like, you know, an imagination by Gene Roddenberry brought to life, in my opinion. There's Jean-Luc Picard using a iPad-esque looking device, you know. Okay, so then we move on to like the mid-90s, where we have these bricks, laptops, the beginning of mobile computing. Very important because it allowed us to do things. Then we go into the remember the Palm Pilot. All right, I can put my contacts, calendar, and shopping list on it. Yay! Now I want to do something else with it. Oh, $100 later and 50 hours of frustration. There we go. So, you know, but this is an idea that many of Star Trekkies want a device that does that. Then we move on to the 2005 period where tablets came out, and this was like, oh my gosh, we have tablets, but not really, because it was running on the Microsoft XP operating system. So it was handicapped by the operating system. But then something came out and reimagined the entire interface, the touch interface by Apple. Now, when they came out with it, they wanted to do something better, and then they did by not being beholden to all the old standards. iPads came out, and then this thing, the Motorola Zoom, Android tablets. But the thing is, tablet computing is something that really transcends and takes us to the next level. And one of my biggest focuses about this presentation is I'm not going to be spending my time showing you apps and what apps to use. There's review sites, there's forums, there's a lot of information. I want to change your mindset. I want to change the way you think about the post-PC era. I want you to think about iPads as this thing, an ultimate Swiss Army knife. Now, some of you might just use it for the knife. Others might use it for the pliers. Some of you might use it for the laser-guided missile deployment system. It's right there. Okay? So the thing is, like, there's so much potential, and it's just up to you to unlock it, and unlock it through apps, through other creative methods. All right, so first thing is I want to spend a moment and move sideways, is to spend a little moment and pay homage to the great Steve Jobs. I mean, I only say that he's great because he really changed the way that we thought about these devices. Okay, come on, make it work. I'm very embarrassed now. All right, it's not Steve. Sorry. Okay. Moving on. Okay. So yeah, when he died, it was a big shock to the world, and we really hope that his ideals and his visions will continue on. So the first thing I want to talk about is accessories. This really cute little device here is an iPad bag. Now, how many of you paid? I'm not going to have you raise your hands. Paid a lot of money out there for an iPad bag. Anybody? Okay. Now, I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand, but a lot of people did. It's just because it says iPad. It doesn't have to be an iPad bag. This here is an European messenger bag or travel bag. Satchels? Yes. I'm Amherst. It's really convenient. It's easy because I can pull my iPad out like this. Oh my gosh. I waited for that moment. It's a prop. Okay, sorry, I had to do that. When I saw that on Hong Kong's website, I'm like, I gotta get that for this presentation. Alright, normally I don't fling iPads like that, but if you want to, you can fling that one. Alright, so iPad bags, this is the $20 European travel satchel, and it's supposed to be a travel device. Anything that can fit an iPad can be an iPad bag. So I want you to think outside of the box. Okay. So things like this, $20, a $30 purse, a little leather pack, netbook holders, they all can be used for holding iPads. Okay, so speaking of iPad holders, I have to share this with everyone because a lot of people spend way too much money on contraptions like these, right? I want to hold my iPad. Well, what better way to do it than to use something like this? Well, what is this, everybody? Picture holder, plate holder, $2.99 Joanne Fabrics. Go ahead. No, seriously. It doesn't have to be expensive for it to be functional. You don't have to pay $20. Think about these things. Like, you're supposed to be creative and think about how to use various things. All right, another thing I want to show you here is oh, I left that behind at the booth. This is a Bluetooth keyboard. $70. Total must-have because it's small, it's light, it's compact, it's very useful. For those of you who type on the screen, it's great because I use it 80% of the time. But for those few times I need a keyboard, I whip that thing out. But I don't have it up all the time. I need some water. Not a seasoned speaker. Okay, so. Accessories like this. These are picture docks. Allows you to hook up your memory card or your SD card and import pictures right in. It's very useful in the classroom. The next thing is very useful in the classroom, which are the HTML and the VGA adapters. Now these are awesome when they came out because they let you hook up your iPad to do presentations like this. iPad 1, you had some limitations on how you could do it. iPad 2, you can actually do screen mirroring, which means that what you see is what you get. But when they came out with these tools, well, this is still a pain in the arm. And then because oftentimes when I'm being too charismatic, I lose the cable. So they came out with something when iOS 5 came out last month. This thing. This is a $100 Apple TV. And what it does is it interfaces between my iPad and an HD television. And what it means is that instead of being tethered to a cable, my iPad 2 with iOS 5 can now connect to it and do the things that I wanted to do. If I had Wi-Fi here, I'd be using this thing instead. All right. Oh, I forgot to say earlier that I'm not an Apple spokesperson or being paid for them to do that. I'm just a total nut. Okay. So basically, that's those are the things I want to talk about at level 0. The practical. These things that you buy and purchase. Don't pay too much money for it because there's better ways to do it. I have a question down there. I'm using the cable. Through what? Oh, I'm connected to that projector down there. So if your standard classroom AV setup, we'll be able to handle it using the VGA cable. All right, so the next thing we're going to talk about is the gosh, I lost my levels there. What is the next level? The obvious, okay. So the obvious things you can do it, like we have our mail app down here, and we have like a web app, the map app. So all these things are very obvious, and you could do it, and you could use it really well. But a lot of people say that they don't have iBooks. iBooks is something that you have to download and use. So one of the things I really love about using these devices is for reading, like an ebook reader. But one of my biggest problems with using these like an ebook reader is that it's still a book. I don't like books very much because, especially textbooks, because one of the things that we've done with mobile technology, with the technology, is that we don't have to be limited to the linear page-by-page reading of information. Things need to be more dynamic. Things need to be more organic in nature. So books are a great step at first, but we really got to make publishers and make the people out there go beyond the book, beyond the ebook, beyond the EPUB, and design smarter, better ways to be able to interface with our students. Kind of like what KP does. But anyway, that was a little plug for myself. But that's my biggest beef with a lot of the publishing. They want to take the easy route out, and they don't want to invest the time and money into building something better, which makes sense because they're a business, and I'm crazy. Okay, so anyway, that's enough of that soapbox moment here. All right, so it's currently saying 3:33. What time are we out of here by? 4:15, good, we're pacing really well. Because another thing we're going to be doing is spending part of our time sharing. So I know a lot of you out there have used really great, useful education apps. Okay, so other things like Pages. Pages is a really wonderful application because it allows you to word process. All right, so this is my script that I was reading this morning. And it does basically everything that I wanted to do, but it does everything, about 90% of everything I wanted to do. 10% cannot be done. But the thing is, I could do a majority of everything about it. And that's the way that you have to think about these tablets. They don't completely replace laptops to do certain things. But when you're only using a laptop for 10% of the time, why the heck would you want to carry that thing around 90 to 100% of the time? So that's the way I think about it. I'm going to show you a level 3 app, which is really awesome, which allows you to interface with your computers. Now, Goodreader. This is another great app. Right now, $5. I picked it up for $1. Now, I'm not going through this whole entire app thing, but I just only want to point out some really key ones that would be really great with education, because this thing not only allows you to read, let's see here, I'll just pull up this one. Read the PDF documents, but allows you to go into level 3 and level 4, because you can do a lot more with it, and hopefully I'll have time to cover what this can do beyond the obvious. Because it's searchable. Yeah, I like that. So my best advice to you is, and this is a discussion that I've had with a lot of educators, is to go to the App Store, is to look at the education category and read the reviews. There's so much stuff out there. Just do a quick search and go, okay, da-da-da-da, and then you pick out a few. The reviews are great, definitely use it. So let's take a look at education and see what we have here. We have free, And we all love the word free, and then paid. So one of the key things I want to point out to all of you is that as an educator, you can get discounts on apps. I know that if you buy more than, I think it was 20 apps, you get 80% discount around thereabouts. So can anybody verify that with me? Anybody purchased a large number of apps before? Yes. Okay, she nods. I'm correct. Okay, so don't think about like, this $20 app is, oh my gosh, 20 times, 20. You think 20 times 20 minus 8%, because they really do a great job of supporting education, So these are some of the apps out there, and there's a lot of them, and there's a lot of great grade school apps, but there's also a lot of great science apps, a lot of great math apps, and recipe apps and things like that. So there's so many things you can do with this thing, like that Swiss Army knife I showed you earlier. It's all about finding it and unearthing it, or going to those forums, going to those communities like Communities Educators. So there's some really great websites. And that reminds me, I'm going to put together a wiki site after this of all the resources that were gathered here from this presentation and put it out there. So because I reference a lot of those sites during the process of making this organic presentation. So here we go, another one. So this is the $15 one. Expensive, but maybe totally worth it. And here's the ratings. 15, 5-star. So okay, doing pretty good. Now we want to click on all versions, because sometimes when they put on a new version, it only shows you the latest version. So if they've made a mistake, some people will 1-star it automatically for saying it's broke. But I don't think that's right. You should 1-star something when it's broke. You should, just tell them it's broke and fix it. So when I change it through all versions, you see that it went from 15 to 151 ratings, and most of them are 5-star. So keep that in mind as you look and research for those wonderful apps. Okay, so now that we've gone a little bit past the obvious, we want to talk about the apps. One of my favorite ones is Wall Street Journals. News apps like Wall Street Journal, USA Today, and whatnot are really wonderful because they allow you to be able to browse a lot of news stories in a very short amount of time, and lets you be able to interface with it. For me, I hated using newspapers. I hated the feel of newspapers. I hated turning newspapers. So I never read newspapers until I got this. Then I'm like, oh, okay, I could just swipe through here, I could tap here, I could do this, I could watch videos in it. And when I watch videos in it, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like Harry Potter. So I want to point out this really cool article that came out last Saturday during our, and this is funny, this is like on the final day of the online education conference called the Virtual School Symposium that I went to last week. And this article came out in the Wall Street Journal on Saturday. My teacher is an app. Google it. It's a great article because it talks about how students are learning online now, but it may not be the best solution, but it's a solution to be prepared for that coming onslaught. Because if we aren't, then it's just going to fall, we're going to fall flat on our faces. Honestly, we will. So here's a little video. I'm not going to play it. I don't have good enough bandwidth. Okay, so news apps are great. News readers are great. Like my favorite news reader is Engadget. So this is a tech news blog that basically takes all the different sources of latest tech trends and puts it in one spot. So every morning I look through it, I spend 15 minutes, I read all the articles, and I'm done. So here we go. Look at that. Samsung S Focus came out. And then the Galaxy Tab 7.0, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Speaking of news readers, then one more I want to point out is Pulse. Pulse is a really great one. You probably saw a lot of press about this because Apple, I updated, so I guess I need to. There we go. So here, like you can choose what articles and you go through it. You see the organic nature of it. All right, a couple more education-focused apps I want to show you. Now, I'm not going to talk about Facebook, Foursquare, and whatnot, or Twitter, but that's entertainment. TV viewing, where is it? Education. All right, so this is a really cool one called The Elements. This is an expensive one, $15, and it shows the periodic table of elements in a new way. Now you got to think about this. You can never get this on textbook. It's cool. You can even play a little song. Let's see if it comes out.
There's antimony, arsenic, aluminum, selenium.
See a problem?
palladium and gold, protactinium and indium and gallium, and iodine and thorium and thulium and thallium.
All right, that's enough of that. But you can see how, like, because of the fact that it's moving and it's doing all these different things, it's connected to Wolfram Alpha. That how a student can really be enthralled by it and then read the information and learn a little bit more. So for $15, it's worth its weight in. Let me locate that. There we go. Worth its weight in. Dang. There we go. Isn't that cool? And then it does more of that. Oh, how embarrassing! Forgot to turn off my cell phone. #1 rule of being a great presenter, like I said earlier. All right. So, Science 360. Anybody else have your cell phones turned off? Okay, good. I usually do it when I'm attending a session, just out of respect for the speaker. But I forgot that I'm up here, so I don't respect myself. All right, so this is a cool little app as well. It shows science stuff, but in a very unoptimized and a clunky, very creative manner. But I have some beef about the developers and how they implement the system. Even on iPad 2, it takes a long time to load, and they're not optimizing their system. But that's my opinion. Look at that. I've already lost my attention, but it's a great app. I'll tell you that. And here we go. I can do a little song and dance while we're waiting. So while we're waiting, anybody have an app that they want to share? Yes?
No, actually I have a question. Can an app go on a normal Mac, or do they only go on iPads?
They only go on iPads, but they're with Lion. Lion is building app support right into their actual native environment. So kind of like what Google's doing with the Android support. Gosh, this is taking a long time. Because you could buy Angry Birds on your Android device, on iPad, and now on your PC using the Google Chrome Marketplace. So a lot of this app environment is going to be moved onto the PC. Wow. Okay. I would say very unawesome. Yes, one.
I'm sorry to bother you one more time. Is on the new upgrade, is that allowing you to go to the projector out from your iPad? Because I tried to.
Yes, the iOS 5 lets you do.
iOS 5. Okay.
Yeah, and iOS 5 will allow you to do this. Okay, to use the AirPlay device.
And so, are you going to the AirPlay device right now to get it?
No, I'm not actually. I'm using the cable. This is cableless, or we call it untethered. Okay, so I was going to show you TeacherPal, but with a new update, they broke it. I'm going to send them an email. TeacherPal is a really cool little app that allows you to take role, move students around. I was going to show you how cool it is. So this one's cool too. Poplet is another cool collaboration app that allows you to take multiple iPad or iOS devices, and they would create presentations together using to do something like this. So somebody could be building a presentation here, somebody could be building a presentation there. So these are just a small sampling of stuff like that. Okay, so those are some of the apps. There's plenty. There's a lot of them. One of my favorite ones is this one. Oh look, it's a camera app. Hey look. What does this do like other devices? It's like an album, right? In a way. So I could go, oh here, take a look at this, or these speakers. So you got yourself a little camera, and when it's untethered with the iOS, it's even cooler. Another thing that teachers really like to use is FaceTime. FaceTime is awesome because it allows you to talk to another iOS user using FaceTime. And the reason why it works so well is that it bypasses a lot of the firewall blocks that schools put on, like Skype. Oh crap! I just gave away a secret. Yes.
If you don't have the latest iPad, can you get an attachment or an upgrade to allow you to be able to do the untethered or not?
To do the on TV?
Untethered.
Oh, untethered. No, only iPad 2 has the capabilities because of the new hardware. Okay, 3:45. So we have half an hour to rock and roll. Okay, so we got all these different things. The apps are great, and they allow you to do wonderful things with it. Now, so I am totally mentally spacing. So we got two. And then we got the creative. Okay, so creative stuff that you can do. I want to show you a good reader here. So on face value, it's a PDF reader. You could do things like draw on it, and annotate it, and do things like that. But one of the things that I want to challenge you with is like, not only does it do that, but there's other things on the side. Okay, so what is this, like, preview, find files, web downloads. You could, let's hit this one down here. Wi-Fi transfer. Okay, so if I was connected to a Wi-Fi and I wanted to get a document from one computer to another computer, but I don't have one of those like little USB thumb thingies, I could basically turn this into a wireless server. So if I was on Wi-Fi, it would give me an IP address. I would be on one laptop. I was connected to this. It would upload to here, and it would download. And then you could download the book from this device to another one, or you can even use this to share your books with other people. So like right now, if I was on Wi-Fi and someone else is using Goodreader, and if they know my IP address, then they could connect to it and browse my catalog. Talk about cool is that. So that's a creative thing. A lot of people don't really see those connections. But the thing is, like, it's really not about seeing it, it's about exploring. You think about these devices and you play around with it. It's virtually impossible to break them. I mean, sure, I threw that one in, bro. But the thing is, like, the applications are written very soundly. I can speak to that about a lot of the apps in iOS, and a lot of the apps in Android devices are written very well as well. Now, we do have that fragmentation problem, but that's more about working within the environments of the different phone and tablet environments. So, okay, so this one's really cool. This is an RDP program. Now, this is something you'll have to get your tech involved, or kid, who understands how to work with. My internet's probably going to be really slow here, but it allows me to connect to my PC at home and work with it in that environment. Now, this is one way that people have gone around the Flash problem. Now, with the recent announcement that Adobe made about a week ago, we could see that the Flash platform has been kind of killed by Steve Jobs or Apple. But a lot of people attribute it to Steve Jobs' personal hatred, not hatred, but personal. I can't think of the proper word, but I don't want to say vendetta or anything like that. But like so here it is right now. Oh, there's Barry Mead. Oh, there's my Salesforce information. Great. Now you're looking at my sales stuff. So let's look at the print agenda. So you can see that this is a PC, and I'm basically tunneling into my PC right now. Oh, there's the VSS program. Okay, so I could do a lot of things with it, but if you have a Flash element, you connect through a RDP session. Then you can view it, you can manipulate, you can move the mouse around like such, and click, right click, do various things with it. So. Anyway, so you can show Flash through that portal. It's one workaround to do that. Somebody asked me earlier, why kill Flash? Well, the reasons that I conclude, and I don't want to spend a lot of time with it, but a lot of people wonder why. It's because Flash is built on an older technology, an older platform, an older architecture. So when Steve Jobs came out with the iPhone, he was like, okay, do I do 50 different, do I jump over 50 different hurdles to make this antiquated old technology work, or do I focus on the future? And just kind of say, okay, I'm not going to support it and deal with the public reaction. And he decided to do that. And I can understand why, because as a programmer, you build backwards compatibility for maximum impact, but you spend a lot of time trying to make things work that really shouldn't work. Like right now, my biggest problem is working with Internet Explorer 7. I spend probably, my company spends about 60% of our time building that compatibility. Whereas if we just focus on modern technology, we could be 50 times farther ahead than we are now. So you can see where he's coming from with that. And it does take a lot of work. It's not designed for touch interface. That's about the simplest way I could put it. Okay. So this is a cool app because it allows you to use remote desktop protocol to Windows PCs. It does not work on Mac. Sorry. because unless you use, basically you're logging into your computer remotely. Kind of like, you know, if you're in a school system, you need to log into your school computer. Same exact thing. So if you have those protocols already in order, if you pick up this app, which is kind of expensive, it's about $12. Oh boy. But you can connect to your computer. There's another really good one that's a lot more expensive, but it's better for the lay users, called GoToMyPC. No, not GoToMyPC, sorry, wrong one. What was that called? I'm having a lot of senior moments here. No, that's a good one too. What's the popular one? The really popular one that everyone has, and I don't like it because it has a really terrible interface. No, Dropbox is a great app. Splashtop is a good one too, actually. I'm hearing a lot of great apps out there. I'm just trying to think of the specific one. So we won't name names, but oh wait, there we go. Log me in. Ha! There we go. Log me in. It's a good one. It's because it takes care of a lot of the tunneling problems that you would have to normally set up through your router and firewalls. Okay, so Dropbox. Speaking of Dropbox, Dropbox is awesome. That's the epitome of cloud computing. Is you store your information in the cloud so that later on when you need it, you just go to it. So like, you know, for instance, I have this Dropbox here, and I can access my documents. So I have all these different folders, and then I can go to my logs, and then down here I have let's see here. No, maybe it's not that one. Or the trade shows. There we go. Trade shows, and I have some videos. Well, actually, I'm too slow. But like, you know, you can load videos, you can load documents, you can load PDF documents, and then you load them from Dropbox and then put them into Goodreader. So you do that integration because Dropbox is live, Goodreader is not live. So you go from live, pull down, and then stick it in your Goodreader. There we go. Great apps. Okay, so I talked a lot, so I want to hear from someone else about a great teaching app that you use in your school. Go ahead, raise your hand. Anybody else? Anybody? Nobody? Nobody. No apps out there. Very true, very true. Yes?
I use AppZilla. I use the time. AppZilla has a lot of mini apps in it. I use a timer and some of the other fun things for my students. AppZilla.
AppZilla. That's a great one to break down. There's some really good review apps, like App Advice is a good one, which they review new apps. There's an app out there that actually tells you when apps go free. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head.
Free app tracker.
Free app tracker. There's a lot of these things already on websites, but if you have it on an app, you can just check on it every day and see what the free apps are. Typically a lot of games. All right, so I want to spend a moment here and talk about how the heck do we get these iPads in our classroom, because I get asked that a lot. There's a lot of grants out there, technology grants. And a lot of these grant writers are looking for key terms to be able to use and integrate these technologies. A lot of very common buzzwords that people use is like, 21st century learning skills. You've already probably heard about, but these are things that we want to put into the mix. I'm drawing a lot of blanks. So, hey, Jonathan, can you tell me some of those other cool buzzwords that I can't think about right now that I'm horribly embarrassed by?
No.
No? All right, there we go. Thank you, Jonathan. He's my COO, so he's too important. No, I'm kidding. No, he's actually doing a very important thing because he's filming this, and this will be put online so that you guys can watch me prattle on about this over and over and over again and share it with your friends. Okay. Well, there goes half my time. Actually, so let's move on to a higher level. First off, I'm going to pull up some information here. So, anybody here have like iPads, like iPad carts in your school right now? You're getting one. Okay, so what was the process that you had to go through to be able to acquire such amazing technology like that? Any one of you? Shout out. Anybody? Huh? So through grants, right? Okay, so currently what are you using those iPad cards for? Research and testing. Okay, that's a start, right? You want to use it for much more? Yes. Okay, so there's definitely a lot of great uses for it, and the landscape is changing so fast that we're trying to just tap the potential. I'm looking for my notes here. I had so many things going on that now I feel very unprepared. Yes.
Our school bought iPads for every student, and they're doing FaceTime videos every day.
Oh, cool. That's really awesome. Her school, Vicky's school, school district, her entire district bought iPads for K through 4, and they're using FaceTime every day to communicate. That's awesome.
Make videos and post them on the web.
And make videos and posting them on the website. Okay. Huh? What grant?
I have no clue.
The I have no clue grant. Very special grant. Monette School District.
Jury.
All right, next guy in red. Oops. I mean blue, not red. Whoa. I am totally off.
I have special needs students using the camera feature to videotape employment processes so they can view them and repeat them and perform them. And they videotape each other as valuable.
Very cool.
And they love it.
Yeah, I mean, the way that I think about these iPad devices is that it's not like what we traditionally think of as computers. You know, these are not only just devices that allow us to compute, but they're also gaming platforms. And one of the things I forgot to show you earlier is that I have a whole bunch of games on here that do various games. You know, from first-person shooters to adventure games to strategy games to Sims. I mean, never before have we had an education device be a gaming device all in one. I mean, sure, PCs and laptops do it, but there's still a disconnect between the mouse and the touch interface. But now, iPod touches, iPads, they're fabulous games. Like, I play this really silly one called Tiny Tower, and I don't know why I'm hopelessly addicted to it. And I have to keep checking on my little people. There we go. And I'll go through the motions, and I get really fast and really efficient about it, and I do it really fast. And things like I'm like a total expert at it now, and it's completely useless, right? Now I was at the session at the virtual school symposium last week, and I can't remember the guy's name, but he's in the Department of Ed. He was talking about that, online games and games in general should not be dismissed by education. If you think of the World of Warcraft arena, anybody here WoWers? Anybody? Thank goodness, because if you did, you wouldn't be here. I don't play it either because I know it would kill me. But the thing is, when you want to slay a dragon, what types of skills are necessary to slay a dragon? First off, you have to be there on time. Secondly, you have to work as a team, as a group. And another thing, you have to assign specific tasks to different members of the team. And then you have to acquire all the items necessary to be able to slay a dragon, which are all the components necessary that you have to find throughout the world, make trades, to work with other people. Talk about a complex process to slay a dragon. And they do it all the time. Now, how can we take that and translate that into a PBL environment? Now, the person who can do that will be the $1 million idea. Okay, working on that. Okay, so I wanted to show you the Science 360. I'm sad that it took forever to load.
Can you buy a protective cover? We got a class set of the iPad that we gave to 15-year-old boys, which is a big mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Their life expectancy is about a month.
Oh, really?
So is there a protective cover of some way? Because they're actually not very sturdy to be given to adolescent boys in the tech college.
Very true. Okay, for 15-year-old adolescent boys, they break fairly easily. Although these are very well built. I mean, if you buy like an Android device, they're very fragile. These are made out of plastic. I mean, at least these are made out of aluminum. But the thing is, as far as protective covers against drops or anything like that, the only thing you can really do is to buy those leather cases or buy bigger cases for it. But then you're bulking the thing up. So there really isn't a whole lot of things that you can do to protect it other than setting up policy and procedures to encourage responsibility. Yeah, I know it's difficult. And like anything else, like laptops, I mean, actually they are a lot sturdier than laptops. Drop a laptop, and I dropped my iPad quite a few times, and you should see how many dips are in this thing. Yeah? Oh, Fisher Price hard case? Oh, cool. Hey, there we go. Give that to your kids. Okay, so here's some news apps that are really useful. Just want to pull it up here. So really, no one else uses any useful apps in schools.
I have my students still do brainstorming activity on just a piece of paper like that, and instead of everybody writing everything down, somebody will take a picture of it and send it to their email, and they have all the notes.
Mm-hmm.
And it just makes things faster, quicker, easier for them. I also, they'll interview each other, they'll practice their interview skills, and they'll videotape it using the camera and the video portion, and they'll take a look at it. It's like, well, you know, you can stuff your hand in your ear or something, you know, something silly, just to make them aware of how they're acting. And it's not, I am, but it's just using the products that are on.
Now that's creative right there. That's level 3 and level 4. So what she was saying, I don't know if everyone heard, was that she had the students write stuff on a piece of paper like that. They would take a picture of it and they would move on. And then the other part of the process is that they would film each other using it, and they could critique each other right there on the spot. So replaces the camcorder right there. Very cool, very creative. Now, okay, so we went over Dropbox, went over Skype, things like, oh, Air Video. Okay, so Air Video is really cool because it allows you to stream media from your computer at home or anywhere. And basically what it means is that you could, oh wait, I've got my server now. You could actually connect to your PC and you designate a folder and it can have videos located in it. You can stream into it. If it's a local folder, you can stream high-def, high-quality HD video. Now if you're out on the road like here, then, actually I can connect to it. It's a really cool app. It's only like $5. So I could go over here and I could go to, video. Let's see here. And we have a really cool one here from the Big Bang Theory. So you can see right now, I'm actually connecting to my PC at home. And depending on my internet speed, I'll be able to play that video. So it's really cool to use, especially in the classroom. So you have your PC. All you need to do is install a small little client, and then you create the connection between the two. Macs, they also support Macs as well. Yes?
What about for YouTube? If you can't get on YouTube at school, can you get on YouTube like right now?
Creatively, yes, you would have to rip the YouTube video and then put it onto. Some YouTube videos actually allow you to download an offline version, so you can do it that way as well. And like the video app, which I skipped over earlier because I wasn't sure how I would do with time, is a great way to host videos. So like this is one of my favorite videos done by Dr. Wesh about the new modern student. It's a very moving video that I often use as an introduction. In fact, I forgot to use my favorite introduction video, which is me 2 years ago speaking at, and there's Ed right there.
Okay, navigation systems, name Wang.
I look a lot younger then.
Knowledge in practice.
Oh gosh, I use the same old line.
President of Education Systems.
I am. I went to blue last year, and this year I went to red again, so I'm flipping back and forth. So anyway, so that was actually the origination of the, I've spent my entire adult life, because when I said it at that occasion, I had no idea why everyone was laughing at me. And then I realized that I was like a kid. Okay, so like movies are great because it allows you to show like videos very quickly and easily. Like this is my favorite one. This is what I determine as the future of education. Or what I want the future of education to be.
Helicopter. Hurry.
That'd be awesome. Okay. So like, this is a great way to jazz up your classes. by throwing like all these little random video clips, they can go, okay, you know, our future.
4/3 pi times the radius cubed.
This is on the planet Vulcan in the new reimagined Star Trek. You know, those Vulcans are really darn smart.
Non-excludability and non-rival 4/3 pi times the radius. It's morally praiseworthy, but not morally applicable.
Very cool. So that's just a taste of like what we can do with these devices. I would love to spend like time to do a workshop to be able to like run through a lot of these what we can do with the apps. There's some really great administrator apps. There's this one out there. Actually, that's right. The document that I pulled up earlier, and I got distracted. Like, you know, I was talking about some of the notes I took. Well, no. Let's see here. 21st century learner, PBL, is a very big buzzword. Student engagement, critical thinking, communication, use of language. So a lot of like, those are some of the things that if you want to apply for grants, you can. So as you know that I'm recording this, so if you'd like a copy of the video, just leave me your email address. Somebody's outside probably. Is Dion outside? Okay, somebody outside, you know, you could just leave the email address and I'll email you the presentation and the video as well. The other thing that I also have available is if you want to see some modern mobile technology, one thing that we're doing at this conference is a contest to be able to win. You know, but the thing is, the key point about what we're doing with this contest is exposing you to a new way to interact. It's what we call the auto-remediation and mastery system. And what it is, it's a mobile way of being able to test yourself and become masters of the information. So here, like right now, Ray Monzo is doing, is doing really well. So this is like the current standing as of right now. So we have all these different participants, and you see various numbers. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to make it so that you would gain knowledge points through the experience of answering questions correctly, and also if you answer them incorrectly, it'll tell you which areas you are deficient in. And the important thing to note about this system is that there is basically, let's see here, I'm gonna log in as one of my test accounts. It's completely mobile browser, so you don't have to use this on Androids too. Without much problem. Okay, so basically, you would go through these learning modules, and this is one thing I would talk about, like when we're talking about like modern ways to be able to use these devices, because this is something that we call HTML5, and it's not app dependent. So here, like we have these learning modules down here, and the entire point of doing this is so that we learn more about the annual convention, about ACTE, about CTE, and so within each module, there's pages of content about ACTE, and what you do is you take tests, and it would tell you like, I don't know about these structures and bylaws. And this is what we call it like organic education, because it's doing direct feedback, being able to do all these different things. And the only reason I bring this up at the very end is because these are the things that we really should be pushing forward to in education. Apps are great, tablets are great. Tablets are letting us reimagine the way we reach our students. And I wouldn't be reading newspapers today if I didn't have my tablet. To talk about being limited like that. So being able to do this, being able to do that anywhere, at any time, on any device is important. It's important for me to push the threshold to get it forward, and it's important for you to really want and desire that. So I conclude at 4:15. So and a couple questions. What folder? Oh, folders. Okay. Yeah, it's a very good basic question. You hold down your app, and then you move it onto another app, and you create a folder. There we go. Just like that. Okay, any other questions? All right. So thank you very much for staying through my presentation. I hope you gained some great knowledge. Thank you. And have yourself a wonderful day. And don't forget to take the test, because it's amazing. Level up.
Sure.